How's it going, guys? It's Marcus. The Jimmy Neutron movie was one of my favorite movies to watch growing up as a kid. Not only was it action-packed, but it was also super funny, and its 3D style for all the characters were so polished for its time that it was very intriguing for me as a 5-year-old kid. Now, there has been multiple instances where Nickelodeon has taken movies or video games and turned them into TV series. For example, Monsters vs. Aliens, as well as Tak and the Power of Juju. Now, some of these shows' adaptations were pretty well done, but some of them not so much. I'm kind of split 50-50 on the whole movies getting turned into TV shows for Nickelodeon, but that's not really the purpose of this video. Bottom line is, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius was one of the, if not the best transitions from a movie to a TV show compared to any other movie that did it. One of the main creators behind the movie was Steve Odekirk, who also created the Barnyard movie and the Barnyard TV series, which I also enjoyed a lot, so shout out to the boy Steven. He knows how to make animated comedy. Well, for the most part anyway, but I'll get into that. The whole show revolves around Jimmy's genius inventions and usually involves him using said invention, and it ends up working too well and he gets carried away, like the special candy and the hypno ray, and other times his inventions will backfire and either get free will or just make a mess of the town, like when he had that evil clone that escaped and cloned an evil planet Earth, or his 2 nanobots that were so obsessed with correcting error, they tried fixing literally everything with flaw they could find, whether it be people, posters, or even buildings, etc. But it wasn't just his inventions all the time either causing trouble. There would be episodes where a villain would be trying to destroy Jimmy or mess with people in Retroville, like Professor Calamitous or Grandma Taters when she hypnotized almost everybody in Retroville into happy, crazy zombies. It was really disappointing for me as a kid seeing the TV series end because it felt like one of the few cartoons that actually kept getting better with the episodes and how the characters were written as more episodes passed. You had characters like Carl, Sheen, and especially Jimmy's dad, who never failed to make me laugh.
Who's the super cool cop? It always gets the bad guy. Good boy. That's me, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the main character being likable is of course crucial to a show being successful in my opinion, but the side characters having charm is super important as well, and there were very few characters I truly disliked in The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Cindy was the only one who occasionally got on my nerves because sometimes it felt like she would just egg Jimmy on about something really stupid, but I really liked her presence in the grand scheme of things. When the show ended in 2006, we didn't hear anything related to a sequel or a spin-off until 2010 when Nickelodeon announced Planet Sheen, a spin-off of the Jimmy Neutron series, but with Sheen as the main character this time. I actually had fairly high hopes for this show when I initially saw the small promos for it, but I guess there was a reason these promos were so short to get everyone's hopes up to make you think that the show will be on par with the original Jimmy Neutron series, when in reality, Planet Sheen was hot ass. And not just hot ass, I'm talking burning to a flaming crisp hot ass. Watching this show made me realize that there's a reason why most spin-off series where a side character from one show gets their own show doesn't do very well. Don't get me wrong, there have been some successful shows in that regard, but Planet Sheen definitely isn't one of them. The whole backstory for this show is Sheen wanders into Jimmy's backyard one day and hops inside one of his rockets and reads a note asking Sheen not to push a button on the rocket. He of course pushes it and the rocket sends him flying into space where he lands on a very distant planet. Every episode involves him trying to get back to Earth with a lot of random shit thrown in there. What made Jimmy Neutron so likable to me were all the characters Jimmy interacted with, even the villains. The problem with Planet Sheen is they introduce these new characters that aren't likable whatsoever, and they're meant to be counterparts of other characters. Like there's this one character named Doppy who's supposed to be Carl's counterpart, but he's just trash. Why couldn't they have just brought Carl along with Sheen for his journey, or in one of the earlier episodes where Carl could have also crash landed on the planet too, and just stayed with Sheen? Like I'm on the Planet Sheen wiki right now and it says Carl was supposed to be on the show instead of Doppy, but Nick didn't want him there for some reason? Why? Carl was great! I don't get it. Then there's a chip named Mr. Nesmith, I believe, who's supposed to be Jimmy's counterpart, and Azifa, who's supposed to be the equivalent of Betty Quinlan, I think. And then the main antagonist, Dorcas, who's like Professor Calamitous' counterpart. These new characters don't have nearly the same charm as the characters from Retroville we know and love. So many of these characters, including Sheen himself, are just random as hell for no reason, and it's just not funny at all. The comedy and writing for Jimmy Neutron was so much more clever and creative. Like, Sheen was one of my favorite characters in the Jimmy Neutron series, but I feel like the reason I liked him a lot was not only was he funny, but they didn't overdo it with his character with the antics that he had. The issue with Planet Sheen is he's the main character now, so the majority of every single episode is Sheen's antics, and it got stale so fast. And that's sad considering the show only had 26 episodes before being canned. The structure of the episodes for Planet Sheen were really poor as well. Almost every episode had the same style where it was Sheen doing some random shit and Dorcas trying to destroy Sheen for breaking his house with the occasional reference of, oh yeah, here's the progress of Sheen getting back to Earth. Now, shows like this can make this type of formula work though. For instance, Phineas and Ferb did it tremendously. Damn near every episode of Phineas and Ferb was the two boys would build some crazy thing to make summer more fun, Candace would try to get their mom's attention to get them into trouble, and Perry the Platypus would go on missions to fight Doofenshmirtz, and the Scuffle the two of them would have would eventually lead to the inventions Phineas and Ferb made being taken away or erased from existence right as their mom would get home, leading Candace to fail at busting her younger brothers. Phineas and Ferb made it work because of how creative the team was with each invention or event Phineas and Ferb conjured up, especially the ones with the musical numbers, and the same thing can be said about Doofenshmirtz with his evil inventions, not to mention how well written these characters were for each episode, especially Dr. D. Easily my favorite character in the show. His interactions with Perry were so priceless all the time, it was great. Where Planet Sheen, on the other hand, attempted to be creative, but it just ended up being random garbage that wasn't funny at all. Its humor is a lot like the new age Dan Schneider sitcoms where you'll have that one stupid side character off to the side and the main character will be like, hey, insert name here, what are you doing? And the dude will be like in the corner trying to feed peanut butter to a plant, be like, feed peanut butter to a plant, duh. It's like, dog, that's not funny. Like, I'm laughing right now because of how bad it is. It's so bad, it's laughable. To be honest, I'm even surprised I made it past the theme song for the first episode of Planet Sheen. I guess since the show came out when I was a freshman in high school, I had a bit more tolerance for cringy things, but good lord, this is so bad to look at now. This actually might be one of the worst cartoon theme songs ever, honestly. The original Jimmy Neutron theme still slaps to this day with the catchy lyrics and the rock theme, whereas Planet Sheen's theme with its cringy lyrics and horrible attempt at rap, it's just disgusting to listen to. So as you can see, this video was a bit more brutal than my Teen Titans video. Teen Titans changed up the formula but made it work for the genre of a show it was trying to be, whereas Planet Sheen was trying to have a similar genre to Jimmy Neutron, but with much less creativity and much worse humor. That show honestly didn't need to happen. But that is going to be it for this video though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like down below if you enjoyed. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye bye.